This video was brought to you by NCIX. Great technology, selection, and service.
Hello everyone, this is Dimitri with Hardware Canucks, and today we've got a highly requested chassis from Thermaltake. This is the Urban T81, priced at $180. And I think it's a little risky for Thermaltake to approach this price bracket, as we are seeing more value-oriented enclosures really dominate the market and set the benchmark for what to expect in each price bracket. So let's hope there's enough functionality and unique features packed into the T81 for this to be a worthy competitor in today's oversaturated list of cases. So first, let's start with the aesthetics, and Thermaltake sure does not disappoint with a very handsome full tower. Their urban line is really meant to fit in the modern space with brushed aluminum accents, curvy bottom, and glossy frame edges, and it sure got character. Up top, I'm really happy to see 6 USB ports, 2 of which are USB 3, audio jacks, PR buttons, and a fan speed control for a low or high setting, as the T81 features a fan hub behind the motherboard tray for 10 fans. This is Molex powered only and not PWM, unfortunately, so the hub does not connect to your motherboard, and therefore you cannot monitor or control the fans from the BIOS on your motherboard. The top cover is removable, that has a built-in dust filter, so really glad to see that. Further removing the top frame, we get access to the fan area. A large 200mm fan is included, plus we get support for triple 120 or dual 140 or 200mm fans. So flexible cooling and radiator options here, and that is exactly what we need to see for this size and of course the price. The front panel opens wide at 180 degrees, behind which we find 2 optical slots and 2 large removable dust filters that are realistically more plastic than mesh, and I think it would actually do more harm with restricting airflow. Plus the panel closes flush right against the filters with practically no spacing in between, so total front intake is reliant on the side ventilation alone, and I definitely would like to see this changed. Now on a better note though, a couple of 200mm fans are included at the front, so it seems stock cooling is pretty much maxed out, with a variety of other options available, like triple 120 or dual 140mm fans are supported as well, with their corresponding radiator sizes. Coming around to the back, we get large water cooling grommets, 2 keys included for the side panel, a 140mm exhaust fan, 8 PCI slots with plenty of ventilation, and at the bottom, large case feet with rubber pads, and this massive dust filter spanning the entire floor, removal of which may get problematic, and I wish it's let out from the side instead. So coming to the side panels, they are a little different. You can actually lock them. The window itself is quite revealing, while the smaller panel covers all of the hard drives. After unlocking, you push a button to release the panel at the bottom. The window panel swivels open and is removable, while the drive cover opens only at about 90 degrees. And one thing I wish they were independent, so you can maybe access the drives without needing to open the main panel. Internally, I'm very happy to see many cutouts with quality rubber grommets, pre-installed motherboard standoffs, and eATX support thanks to the Roomy Design. The drive cage system is modular with a total of 8 drive caddies supporting both SSDs and mechanical drives. The cages are secured at the rear with thumb screws, and removing them opens up clearance for a radiator. And notice the mounting strips for extra flexibility for both 120 and 140mm fans. There is an additional bracket that holds a single SSD and the mechanical drives, so you're not completely left without storage. The bracket can also support an extra fan for improved airflow and 2 positions for installation depending on your configuration. Now with the bracket in place holding the mechanical drive, you still have over 4 inches of spacing, inviting thick radiators and push-pull setups. Furthermore, the 2 optical bays are easily removable with thumb screws, leaving enough clearance for a thick top 360 or a 420mm radiator, and one at the front as well, which is pretty impressive. And I really love how the T81 is so water cooling ready, supporting dual 420 radiators simultaneously, plus it's very user friendly with everything that is removable secured with thumb screws. Plus you can remove the panels themselves and the support frame in the middle if required for modding or potentially repainting. With the bottom platform removed, you can still mount a 240 or 280mm radiator, allowing some water cooling while not totally getting rid of storage potential, with still enough clearance for a long power supply that actually sits on a raised padded platform for better cooling and silence. With the cages in place, we have over 15 inches of clearance, so there are absolutely no issues with GPU compatibility, and even with the bracket installed, there's plenty left for enthusiast systems, even if you place a fan on the bracket. And coming around to the back, this is one of the things get a little bit disappointing, and I'm not really happy with the direction Thermaltake has gone for a cable management system. First, there are no standard cable type points. Instead, we get these built-in flexible hooks that are only on the left side and none in the center. So as you can see, my 24-pin cable was left unsecured. And I would rather see standard cable tie mounts all over the tray plus these additional hooks, as otherwise the T81 really just fell to the bottom of the list for such terrible implementation of cable management at the rear. Furthermore, as you can see, there's no spacing between the motherboard tray and the bottom, so you cannot tuck your cables. But the side panel is spaced out about an inch away from the tray, so you can still have some room to work with, but it's always unpleasant having to deal with unsecured cables and also the hassle of closing the panel because of it. And with the build assembled, I love the spacing of all the cutouts in front of the power supply and right below the motherboard for routing all the little things. And this is what a full tower should really feel like, ready for expansion without compromise. There's over 3 inches up top for water cooling with these large cutouts for routing of any type of cable, and it really feels like it has potential within the enthusiast water cooling market. And that's the thing with the T81. It has impressive list of water cooling support with proper drive cage system to complement any configuration, plus removable optical base that really proves Thermaltake designed this with water cooling in mind. The fan hub is always a bonus, although it's not PWM, so fan control is limited with just the 2 settings. And I have to give them this unique side panel design that's refreshing, and it totally fits the urban character. However, the T81 is surprisingly unoptimized for cable management behind the motherboard tray for its size, without any proper cable type points, and very inconvenient rear panel that is just a hassle to close. Front design is incredibly restrictive, first with the panel itself, then the dust filters that are more plastic than mesh. And the overall build quality seems off with quite a bit of flex, and also rattling side panels, all for almost $200 is expensive considering this feels only partially polished. And I really wanted to like this case given the unique form and the crazy water cooling support, but the T81 is a good example of how a few small details can really ruin the functionality of the entire enclosure. And I really hope we'll see major improvements in the urban line from Thermaltake. But we would love to know what you'd like to see changed in this specific case. And I'm sure Thermaltake would be happy to receive our feedback along with yours, so leave your comments down below. As always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.